Our romantic date night ended with my husband pulling out a small box. Inside was a flash drive. I plugged it into my laptop later that night and saw every text, every photo, every lie. My phone buzzed, a final message from him. Enjoy your new life. I already did. I never thought I'd be writing something like this. I've read these stories before, the kind that make your stomach turn, the ones you scroll through, thinking, that's awful, but that could never happen to me. I was wrong. It happened to me. And I still don't know how I didn't see it coming. Mark and I had been married for 11 years. We met in college, got engaged in our mid-20s, and built what I thought was a solid life together. Nothing perfect, no marriage is, but steady. Comfortable. Real. So when he suggested a date night, I didn't question it. We weren't a couple who went out often. We had our routines, our little rituals, and eating at home was one of them. But he said he wanted to do something nice, so I went along with it. He picked our favorite place, a small Italian restaurant in downtown Chicago. Cozy, dimly lit, with flickering candles on the tables and the kind of ambience that makes you feel like the outside world doesn't exist. He was quiet. Not nervous. Not fidgety. Just quiet. Looking at me with an expression I couldn't place. It wasn't love. It wasn't excitement. It wasn't sadness. It was something else. We ordered. We ate. We talked. But it wasn't the same. There were pauses where there shouldn't have been. His eyes would drift, his fingers tapping the table like he had somewhere else to be. And then, at the end of the meal, he reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a small black box. For a split second, my heart jumped. A gift? He wasn't the type for big romantic gestures, but maybe it was a bracelet? A necklace? Something sweet, a reminder that he still cared. He slid the box across the table. I opened it. Inside was a flash drive. I laughed. A nervous, awkward laugh because none of this made sense. What is this? A PowerPoint presentation on why you love me? He didn't laugh. His face stayed unreadable. Watch it when you get home. That was all he said. He paid the bill, and we walked back to the car. I don't remember what we talked about on the drive home. I don't even know if we talked at all. When we got inside, he kissed my cheek, told me he was tired, and went to bed. I sat alone in the living room. The flash drive on the coffee table. I should have known then. But I didn't. I don't know how long I stared at it before finally picking it up. Maybe 5 minutes. Maybe 30. It was such a small thing. Just a simple piece of plastic and metal. But it felt heavier than anything I had ever held in my life. I plugged it into my laptop. A single folder popped up. The truth, I clicked it. And everything I thought I knew about my life, my marriage, my husband, collapsed. Inside were dozens of files. Screenshots. Images. Videos. I opened the first one. It was a text conversation. Not one message. Not a few. Hundreds. The messages weren't from him. They were about me. Conversations analyzing my routines, my habits. Picking apart my life like I was some kind of case study. I kept scrolling. Screenshots of my schedule. The times I left for work. The times I went to the gym. Even details about the way I slept, whether I rolled over, how long it took me to drift off. And then the photos. Some of me taken inside my own house. Some of our bedroom. Some of our bed. I couldn't breathe. I clicked on a video file. It was Mark. Sitting at his desk. His face calm. Expressionless. His voice was steady when he spoke. If you're watching this, you've seen it all by now. I'm not going to explain myself. You don't need an explanation. You deserve the truth, and this is it. I won't be here when you wake up. Enjoy your new life. I already am. The screen went black. And then, my phone buzzed. A new message from Mark. Just 3 words. Enjoy your life. I ran upstairs. The closet door was open. His side was empty. His suitcase was gone. The bathroom, his toothbrush missing. His razor gone. Our bedroom, his nightstand cleared out. He was gone. He had planned this. It wasn't a heat-of-the-moment decision. It wasn't something that happened by accident. This was thought out. Precise. And I had no idea. I don't remember how long I stood there, staring at the empty space where his things used to be. My ears were ringing. My hands were shaking so badly I had to grip the doorframe just to stay upright. And then the question started. Who was she? How long had this been going on? Had he ever really loved me? Had I missed the signs? Were there signs? Why didn't I see it coming? I sat on the floor of our empty bedroom, the silence stretching out like an ocean around me. Everything was gone. Everything except the truth. And I still didn't know what to do with it. That's where I am now. I don't know what comes next. I don't know how long I sat there. Time didn't feel real. The bedroom felt too big, too empty, too quiet. At some point, my body took over. My mind wasn't working, but my body was moving. I don't even remember getting up, but suddenly, I was in the hallway, then the kitchen, then standing by the fridge with no idea why I was there. Everything was exactly as it had been that morning. The same dishes in the sink. The same half-empty bottle of wine on the counter. His coffee mug still sat by the sink, the last few drops of coffee dried at the bottom. As if he hadn't planned this. As if he hadn't spent weeks, months, maybe even years waiting for this exact moment. I grabbed my phone and opened our text messages. His name stared back at me. The same thread we had used for years, filled with everything from grocery lists to inside jokes to little "I love you" texts. And now, at the very top, enjoy your life. I called him. It went straight to voicemail. I called again. Voicemail. I texted, "Where are you?" No response. "Mark, talk to me." "What is this?" Nothing. I sat down at the table, staring at the screen. My stomach was twisted so tight I thought I might be sick. And then, my phone lit up. An unknown number. I answered so fast I nearly dropped the phone. "Mark?" Silence. And then a woman's voice. "You should stop looking for him." My breath caught in my throat. "Who is this?" A pause. Then, calmly, almost gently, she said, "It doesn't matter. Just stop." Click. I yanked the phone from my ear, staring at the screen. My heart was pounding so loud I could hear it in my ears. I called the number back. Disconnected. The room was spinning. My hands were shaking again. This wasn't just an affair. This wasn't just him leaving. Something was wrong. I went back to my laptop and opened the flash drive again. I had only scratched the surface before. Now, I needed to know everything. I clicked through more messages. Some were flirty, intimate. Others were cold. Businesslike. And then I found it. A text from him to her, dated 3 months ago. "It has to be soon. She's starting to notice things." My breath hitched. I hadn't noticed anything. Another message from her, "Make sure she understands. No loose ends." My hands clenched into fists. Loose ends. I was the loose end. This wasn't just about him leaving me. It was bigger than that. And suddenly, I wasn't just heartbroken. I was afraid. I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't. I sat on the couch with my laptop open, scrolling through the messages again and again, looking for something, anything, that would explain what was happening. But the more I read, the worse it got. Mark hadn't just left me. He had erased me. His bank account was empty. Our joint savings, gone. His name had been taken off our lease. His work email was shut down. His social media accounts had vanished. It was like he had never existed. I checked our bank transactions. The last charge on his card was at a gas station just outside the city, 4 hours ago. And then nothing. Like he had disappeared into thin air. I tried calling his parents. His mom picked up on the second ring, her voice groggy with sleep. "Hello? Did Mark call you?" My voice was shaking. "Do you know where he is?" A pause. Then, cautiously, "Honey. Mark's been here all night." My blood went cold. "What?" "He got here a few hours ago. Said you were out of town for work. Are you okay?" Out of town for work. A lie. A clean, practiced lie. I couldn't breathe. I hung up without saying another word. Then I ran upstairs. There had to be something he had left behind, some kind of clue, something that didn't add up. But his side of the closet was empty. His drawers were cleared out. His nightstand was bare except for one thing. A single key. Small. Silver. Not one I recognized. I picked it up, turning it over in my fingers. On the side, engraved in tiny letters, was a number. The kind you see on safety deposit boxes. I grabbed my phone and typed the number into Google. It matched a bank downtown. Mark had a safety deposit box? He had never mentioned it before. My pulse was pounding. I didn't know what I would find, but I knew one thing. I wasn't going to stop now. I was going to open that box. And I was going to find out the truth. The next morning, I was standing outside the bank before it even opened. I hadn't slept. My body was running on coffee and pure adrenaline. Mark had a safety deposit box. That alone was enough to make my stomach twist. We had shared everything, or at least, I thought we had. What was so important that he had hidden it away? When the doors finally unlocked, I forced myself to walk inside like I belonged there. Like I wasn't falling apart on the inside. A woman at the counter greeted me with a polite smile. "How can I help you?" I placed the key on the counter, my hands trembling. "I need to access a deposit box." She typed something into her computer. "Name on the account?" I hesitated. If I gave my name, she'd see I wasn't on the account. But if I gave his, Mark Sullivan, my voice was barely above a whisper. She nodded, checking the records. My heart pounded so loudly I could barely hear her when she said, "Right this way." My breath hitched. She led me down a hallway into a small, private room. A metal door. A single table. She inserted her own key into the lock, then nodded for me to do the same. My fingers felt numb as I slid the key in and turned. With a small click, the door popped open. Inside, there was only one thing. A manila folder. I picked it up, my hands shaking. My body was screaming at me to stop, but I couldn't. I had to know. I sat at the table and opened it, and my world cracked apart. Inside were official-looking documents. Copies of passports, plane tickets, bank statements. But they weren't in Mark's name. They were in mine. A fake passport with my picture but a different name. A plane ticket for a flight to Mexico, dated for 2 days from now. There was even a lease agreement, an apartment in a different state under an unfamiliar name. Mark wasn't just leaving me. He had planned for me to disappear. My vision blurred. My skin went ice cold. What the hell was this? Then I saw the last thing in the folder, a small note, scrawled in Mark's handwriting. "It's the only way. You need to go." I don't remember driving. I don't remember getting out of the car. All I knew was that I was standing on his parents' front porch, pounding on the door. Mark opened it. His face went pale. For a second, we just stared at each other. Then I shoved the folder into his chest. What the hell is this? His parents were in the background. His mother gasped. His father stood up, confused. "Anna," Mark started, but I cut him off. "No," my voice was shaking. "You don't get to, Anna, me. You don't get to walk out and then erase me. What were you planning? To make it look like I ran away? To make me disappear while you moved on with?" I stopped myself. His hands clenched into fists. "It wasn't like that." "Then what was it like, Mark?" My voice cracked. "Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you wanted me gone. And not just out of your life, out of everyone's." His parents were watching, stunned. His mother's hand covered her mouth. Mark exhaled sharply, looking away. "You weren't supposed to find that." I let out a sharp, humorless laugh. "Oh, I wasn't supposed to find it? That's your excuse?" I felt like I was losing my mind. He ran a hand through his hair, stepping back. "Anna, listen, no," I snapped. "You're going to tell me the truth. Right now." His jaw tightened. "It was for your own good." A laugh burst out of me, bitter and hollow. "My own good. I didn't want you to get hurt." I stepped forward. "Hurt by who, Mark?" His face twisted. He glanced at his parents, then back at me. Then he said something that made my blood run cold. They were watching us. Everything in me froze. "Who?" Mark swallowed hard. His voice was low, barely above a whisper. "I don't know exactly. But it started months ago. Strange calls. Weird messages. I thought it was just me at first, but then I realized they were watching you." I shook my head, not believing it. "Mark, what are you talking about?" He looked desperate. "That flash drive? The messages? That wasn't me talking to another woman. That was me trying to figure out what was happening. I didn't tell you because I didn't know who to trust." I couldn't breathe. "I found the safety deposit box because they made it," he continued. "I thought if I set up an escape plan for you, they'd back off. That's why I left. I thought if I disappeared, they'd stop watching." I looked down at the documents again. My fake name. My new identity. He wasn't trying to erase me. He was trying to hide me. My stomach turned. "Mark, this is insane." "I know." His voice cracked. But I didn't know what else to do. I stumbled back. This was too much. Too crazy. His mother finally spoke, her voice trembling. "Mark, who is watching?" He didn't answer. And that silence was worse than anything. The next few days were a blur. I stayed in a hotel. I barely slept. My mind was spinning, trying to piece it all together. Had he been lying? Was this all some elaborate cover-up for an affair? Or was he telling the truth? But then I started noticing things. A black SUV parked outside my hotel. A call from an unknown number that hung up the second I answered. My apartment door slightly ajar when I know I locked it. I wasn't paranoid. Someone was watching. And suddenly, I realized something terrifying. Mark had been right. I had spent so much time being angry at him for leaving that I didn't stop to ask, why had he been so desperate to get me away? Maybe this wasn't just about a broken marriage. Maybe it was about survival. So now I have a choice. Do I stay and fight to figure out the truth? Or do I disappear, just like Mark wanted?